Let's see what happens. I accidentally did another video with no audio. This little BSA came back into the shop. The client said it was making loud noises in the primary case. We're going to take a look and see what we can see. Wouldn't start because the battery's deader than a doornail. The client said that he thinks his son might have left the ignition switch on. I made an adapter so I could hook up the shop battery to the bike so we could see if we could start it. The client said that it was also leaking some oil from the two valve caps, so we'll check that out. And I found out that the front valve cap was actually fractured. When I went to tighten it with fresh sealer, it fell apart into two parts. The whole threaded part just fractured right off the top part. I've never seen that before. I've seen these things strip because basically they're made out of cheese, but I've never seen them fall apart like that. Now the good news is I had one in my spares and I polished it up and put it on the front, so it looks pretty good. I've tightened both of the valve caps. Kevin said he noticed a little bit of oil seeping from this rocker arm cover, so we will seal that before we try to start the bike. And then we will do a start and see what happens. Okay, we pulled the little rocker shaft cap off this side. The gasket was a little offset, probably maybe not a problem. We cleaned it all up, put a little sealer on it, put it back on. It's nice and tight now. We are now going to try our first start even as we speak. So go ahead and give her a kick and see what happens. Well, once it starts. Got a sloppy tickle on it?
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. This used to start easier. Okay, keep going. I don't know. I think it sounds great. What? Oh, I've got the caps off. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I think, yeah, that's just because I have the cap off. All right. That's probably overfilled.
Huh?
That's probably overfilled.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We'll shut her down. Now that oil is just coming out of the, thank you. That oil is just coming off of the cap off the end, but it shouldn't be that high. Anyway, so let's put it up in the air, and I didn't hear any overt noises coming from that primary.
I'll test ride it and we'll see. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm going to use the sucker to take the oil out of that primary. Then I'm going to measure the proper amount and put it back in,
Good.
and then we'll test ride it, okay? All right, so progress. We're making progress. Okay, we're draining the primary, and I decided to catch it just so I could measure it. And as Kevin just said, whoa, that's a lot. So we're going to look up in Das Buch and see what's supposed to be in there, which is probably about 5 ounces at most, and put fresh oil into it. Then we will ride it. Let's see how it sounds. And I don't know what to do after that. If it sounds okay, I'm going to let it go. This much oil, it's possible that the main crankshaft oil seal has blown out, and that's engine oil filling up the primary. But it could also be simply somebody overfilled it, because that's a lot of oil. It is fluid ounces. It is 12 fluid ounces. No, it's 14. 14 fluid ounces of just came out of that primary. So we'll go to the book and find out what it's supposed to have in it. And
140 cc's.
140 cc's. What's that go to ounces? Does it say?
Say that again.
140 cc's. Does that
140 cc's
translate?
Equals ounces. How about pints? Third of a pint.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll ask the Google.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so that's where we are. We got the engine running. I don't hear anything coming out of that primary. That would scare me. That's pretty normal British noise coming out of the primary. We're going to take it for a ride now. Okay. The amount of noise coming out of that primary to me is quite British normal. I don't see a problem. So we'll do a road test now. I'm going to disconnect that pilot light. I don't like that light being on. It's too small a battery. Okay? So, we'll do that first, then we'll do a test ride. Maybe we might even put the test ride off until tomorrow morning when it's cooler. Okay, so that's where we are. Okay, we got the bike running. It's running nicely. I've turned the idle up a bit. I want to show you the charge rate on this Ambient. Watch this. It is seriously charging the battery. However, the battery is not holding that charge. We had to start it with the shop battery here in order to get it running. As soon as we took that off, and basically this lithium battery just practically went dead while it's sitting there with the ignition on. So we're going to talk. Anyway, Kevin's going to test ride this thing now and listen for noises. I think it sounds great from here. We'll see what it sounds like when he comes back. And here comes Kevin coming home on a really, really quiet bike. Gee, that must have one really good muffler. Hi, Kevin. That bike sure is quiet.
Very quiet. It's leg day. I just wanted to work my legs.
Is it electric? So quiet.
Okay, so tell me and the rest of the world what happened.
Just slowing down, pulled in the clutch, stalled out.
Slowing down, pulled in the clutch, and the bike stalled.
Yep.
All right, so nothing catastrophic.
No,
it just stalled.
uh-uh.
And too much trouble to start it on the side stand. So
Yeah.
we'll try to start it again here and see what happens. Okay, we're doing an autopsy on that last test ride. Kevin took off like a galloping goose. It was wonderful. And he came back on a coaster bike. He got up the hill and was downshifting, stepped on the brake. The bike died, and he coasted on back down the hill. That's why we test ride uphill.
Mm-hmm.
So he coasted on back down the hill. We got it up here on the lift, and we got zipped. The battery's deader than a doornail. So even though I was showing it was charging the first time he stepped on the brake, that was just enough additional drainage on this battery to kill the whole system. We got nothing. We got no. There's zip here. If we put a meter on this thing, I bet it wouldn't be reading 1 or 2 volts. So this battery is just not holding a charge. I think having had been completely and totally discharged, my good buddy across the street, Richard, says lithium batteries don't like to be discharged. Once they get discharged, they don't come back. I think I'm going to believe him. So we're going to try to find a battery that will fit in this little battery box, a non-lithium. I don't like lithium batteries. I'm sorry. I don't think lithium batteries are ready for prime time yet. Too many problems, too many fires. I've heard you have to have special chargers. I don't know. I do know that the charging system on these British bikes is like 50, 60 years old, and it wasn't designed to handle modern battery if it needs some sort of special charging system. If it has to rely on its own internal charging system, I'm not sure it can handle choppy 12 volts, which is what these things are making. It's not smooth 12 volts. It's a choppy 12 volts. They take a square wave and chop it up. So anyway, that's a situation. That was not a failure per se. The battery went dead. We're going to put a new battery in it and ride it again and see what happens. and what does the fun do, Kevin?
Oh, the fun just never stops.
But just never stops. Okay, that's where we are.